Right, he's already talking. That's my guest, Professor Elijah Ogola. He's a professor of medicine at the University of Nairobi, and he's also a member of KMA and KMPDU. Talk to us, 22422 on Twitter using the hashtag The Big Question. What is the way out of this health crisis? What is the way forward? Professor, thank you so much for making time for us tonight. You have made it very clear today. KMA has made it very clear. KMPDU has made it very clear. Unless all court cases are withdrawn and the doctors are released unconditionally, fast no negotiations can take place.
Absolutely. I think it's Nelson Mandela who said that prisoners cannot negotiate. So really, I mean, you can't incarcerate somebody and expect to negotiate with them.
Has anyone tried to reach KMA or KMPDU or any doctors since this happened, since they were jailed yesterday?
You mean the doctors were in jail?
Privately.
The doctors in jail?
Not the doctors in jail.
Yeah. You mean the system as it were, the government?
Yes, the government.
Well, since I'm really not an official of KMA or KMPDU, to the best of my knowledge, no.
Yeah. As a union member.
Yeah.
So how do we move forward from this? What do you suggest now? You have put your conditions.
Yeah.
If, for example, if tomorrow, I mean, there will be an appeal tomorrow at the courts.
Yeah.
Health Cabinet Secretary Clifford Mailu says they're looking for ways to get them out of jail. Council of Governors said the same today through their chair, Peter Munya. If it happens, they are out of jail. What is the preferred way to go about this now?
I think our position has always been that we are ready to negotiate. As I was walking in, I was hearing a caption that suggested that the doctors have insisted that the CBA must be implemented in total. That's actually a mistake. What the doctors have said is that the CBA is a legal document that was designed by a permanent secretary or principal secretary of the Kenyan government.
Yes.
And that there are many issues in the CBA in which there was no dispute. And that, going forward, the government must own the CBA as a co-signatory, and that it be the basis of negotiations.
So we'll probably go back to where we were.
So, and there's one thing I've not said, but this cannot happen until the union officials are out of jail.
Yes, that is
so if they stay there for 30 days,
there'll be no negotiation.
There'll be nothing happening until they come out in 30 days time.
Right, and I'm saying if they are out, for example, like I told you, the appeal goes through and they seek ways to get them out, you're saying you'll still stick to the CBA for it to be implemented in totality, or you'll be open now to negotiate in any other way?
That's the point I was making. We've never insisted that the CBA must be implemented in totality.
That is what they claim.
That is
they don't want the CBA to be the basis of negotiations.
We want the CBA to be the basis of negotiations. And if you look at a clip that I'm sure you heard when there was a doctors meeting in Railway Club when I was asked to give an I said exactly that the CBA, what we are opposed to is the total throwing away of the CBA, calling it illegal. Okay.
The union officials, KMPDU, have been keen. I mean, we are not going to say some sections of the CBA are far superior to other sections of the CBA, but they've been very keen on the basic salary. Yeah.
One of the reasons that why we are keen on the basic salary, and this actually is in accord with, for example, what SRC is saying, is because a situation has come where there has been this haphazard increase of salaries in various sectors of the public sector. And therefore, to catch up, and because you are working within the straitjacket of job groups within the government, if there is a genuine case, then what you do is what? To give all sorts of ridiculous allowances. Now, one of the problems with that is that in the computation of your pension, for example, it is
not factored in.
It's not factored in. So if, for example, you are a civil servant, your basic salary is 70,000, you compensated by allowances that make you earn, say, 150,000.
Okay. I don't want to belittle. Fine. I don't want to belittle the other sections of the CBA. Like I said, there are other very important issues, including working conditions and all, and training and all the other things in that. But one of the biggest problems there has been that has led to this has been that specific issue of basic salary. Do you see? Of course, you're not a union member.
I'm a union member, I'm not a union official.
You're not a union official, brother. But do you see doctors I mean, are they going to do any compromise in terms of the basic salary they're asking for? Will there be any compromise?
We have already said we are ready for that.
You're ready for that?
Yes. In fact, if, again, sorry, I'll refer you to that.
That's okay.
I say that this should be a matrix for negotiation. If you say there's negotiation, then it means there must be give and take.
All right.
The other side is not willing to consider that an animal called the CBA exists at all.
Okay. One of the mediators, Court Secretary General Francis Atwoli, he said one of the biggest concerns or problems that he faced was the infighting between the Principal Secretary Health, Cabinet Secretary Health. Philip Mailu, the Cabinet Secretary, has confirmed that today when he appeared before the Senate.
Yeah.
But he also talked about, I want to assume, no offense, please don't take offense, for people like you, seasoned doctors, who may be misadvising these other doctors because you seem to be, according to Atwoli, you are the guys who are benefiting from all this now that public hospitals are closed.
Well, with all due respect to Atwoli, I think is grossly misadvised or misinformed. I honestly choose to be in public service by choice. That's why I'm a university teacher, and that's why I work in the public sector. Beyond my clinical care and my teaching, and I'm talking of me, but this is represents many things. There are many things that a functioning healthcare system serves my, career purposes. I've got big research projects that are grounded now, because as a clinical scientist, I can't do research without patient. So what would I gain?
Okay. Finally, you had Council of Governors Chair Munya speak today, and you said, why can't you work a return to work formula as you negotiate on the other issues?
Where have these guys appeared from? I mean, there was a process before the strike occurred, okay, including a 21-day notice. Then the strike was declared. It is the Council of Governors
that went to court.
They were not there to withdraw this case, to allow, as a show of goodwill, to allow negotiations.
Because they wanted you to stop the strike because there was a court order that barred the strike.
That is an interesting thing, because yes, there was a court order that barred the strike, and for some reason that is all that has hogged the media. But there was also, and you know about this, the sitting that was in front of the Justice Mbaro, which talked about the CBA, and actually ordered the parties
to meet. Failure to which it should be effective.
Yeah, so that seems to have gone.
No, we've raised it, and it's important to mention that we try to look for the National Government, the Council of Governors today,
which is the other thing. May I make a comment on that?
Right,
I think it's a shame. I mean, I would want to be sitting with Munya here, and my colleague Muraguri or Mailu, and for them to have declined to come here, I think is the dereliction of duty.
Professor Elijah Ogolla is the Professor of Medicine at the University of Nairobi. Thank you so much for making time for us tonight. Of course, tomorrow is a very important day to see what will happen at the Court of Appeal. Keep talking to us. What do you think?
May I say something about what happened last night?
Right.
Just 1 minute.
That is at Raiders Club.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's really a shame in two respects. One, that you have an assembly of peaceful citizens, and you not only have a riot squad, you have GSU with arms, G3s or whatever they are called, and water cannons. Two, the irresponsibility of it. This is night, it is dark, and you do this sort of thing. If a stampede had occurred yesterday, thank God the doctors dispersed peacefully. We would be counting bodies now. Okay. And as a nation, we would be mourning.
Professor Ogolla, I mean, ultimately, if everything goes to plan tomorrow, according to the doctors, and if these doctors are released, you're willing to go back to the negotiating table?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we hope there'll be a solution to this ultimately. Keep talking to us. What do you think is the solution to this health crisis? Talk to us, 22422, and you can tweet us using the hashtag. The big question. Now, the High Court has ordered IEBC to extend voter registration by a minimum